Name and age.
Mark, aka Louie Labon, and I'll be 52 this August. So I'm 51 currently.
Louie, how did you get started in the woods?
Well, that's a pretty good question. I happened to just leave a job at Frederick-Lowe when I was 18, 19, worked there through high school, washing dump trucks and such. And was not working at the time. My uncle called me and said they needed a chaser out there with Don Bell, doing some right-of-way. And heck, the only damn chainsaw experience I had was ripping sideboard for a dump truck or cutting some firewood, you know. And I was pretty green, but I gave her hell, and we made it through that season. And because we were just doing right-of-way and road building down there at Hope Creek, and then from there it just kind of got hired on with Lutton Log, Dale Lutton. Mike Stott was the logging manager there, and chased there for a little while, and he broke me in on shovel. And I guess when I was 24, I started running shovel full time. There was an opening, a guy quit, and Mikey threw me in the seat. You know, he was a good teacher. He taught me a lot. He taught me everything really that, you know, to be an operator and such. There's a little bit more to being an operator than just swinging sticks. You know, I mean, taking care of these things every once in a while. So
Yeah.
but that's how I got started, and once it's in your blood, it's hard to walk away. I went and did the construction thing, went back to Frederick-Lowe, but it was Northwest Rock, and ran equipment and did stuff there. And I don't know, I just got the itch to come back, and I haven't left since. You know, I just love it, really. It gets in your blood, and yeah, I don't know. Tried my boy wanted to try it out, and that didn't go so well for him. He ended up eating a choker and broke his jaw, and he didn't like that so much. So
Yeah.
he went and did other things, which is probably good.
Okay.
So.
How many outfits have you worked for?
Let's see. For Don Bell, only really 5, I think, is Don Bell, Lutton Log, and then Pete Papik. Did a couple tours of duty there, and then for Josh Stoken for Ace Log, and Tobin and Redussel, worked for them down here and went with them when we went up to Alaska. And then I worked for Mikey Stott when he took over the company from Dale Lutton. And let's see, then I came to work here in October of 2019, I think, or 20, one of the two. I've been here for a few years, and I like it here. So yeah, Darren's a good guy, he really is. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on camera either. So no, that's so a handful of them. I tend not to be a jumper arounder guy. I know a lot of guys that do that. You know, I don't know. I'm pretty loyal, I guess. You know, to whoever I'm working for until something happens that where we got to part ways or whatever.
Yeah.
And so.
That's cool. And so how many years have you spent in the woods?
Well, since I was 20 years old is when 19, I guess, right in there. So I've been here for a little while.
Yeah.
I never thought I was going to be the old guy on the crew. You know, I used to look around when I was a young buck, and now all of a sudden everyone's looking at me going, I'm the old guy on the crew. And I wasn't expecting for that. It's pretty sad when you can go back into some of these units that I logged, I guess 20 some years ago, and now they're trees there. You know?
Yeah.
Trees that they're actually thinning out and stuff. It's crazy, but that's what it is, how it is, and life goes on, you know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So out of all the different things you've done out in the woods, what would you say your most favorite job is?
Well, staying in shape was, you know, in the rigging and chasing and stuff. Now I grab a chainsaw and I run it for 10 minutes and my back hurts, you know. I don't know, but I love running shovel though. I really do. I couldn't imagine myself now doing anything different, you know, besides running shovel. I like loading logs. I like, you know, just when the pace is fast and things are going and trucks are humping, you know, it's fun. You know, logging is fun if you make it fun. If you know, have a bad day, everyone's gonna have a bad day. You know, my theory is every day's a good day, some are just better than others, you know, and if you start hating your job, then you might as well move on to something else.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, them guys are the guys that work. I mean, those guys, heck, you can't even see them. They're up on that,
Yeah.
behind that rock, you know. So
Way up back there.
Yeah, you'll see a turn coming across that, and I give those guys credit all the time, for when we have phenomenal days or we're struggling. I let them know that it is what it is sometimes, and you just gotta bear through it. Yeah.
And out of all the equipment you've run, what would you say was the most cantankerous piece of equipment you've been on?
Well, as far as the Medill 2800 was a little different. It was its own vibe to it. But once we got comfortable with it, it was actually ended up being a really good machine. But it was just a little different function-wise. I mean, not function-wise, just the feel of them and stuff. But my favorite, out of all the machines that I have ran, would be the old girl turned 21 years old on me, a 235C that I ran for Pete Pappy.
Wow.
I love that machine. It was a smooth, great, I mean, I never have ever been one to toot my own horn, but I'd load 40 loads a day with that thing. We did that for 6 weeks straight one time, 41 loads a day. And yeah, I never say, when I'm talking about anything, I try never to say I, because logging's a team effort. If you ever become that self-absorbed, that it's you, then, no, it's not. It's a team effort. And I try to always say we, so.
Right.
But those, and this is a good machine. It's a great loading machine, and everything. I have no qualms with it. It's nice. Got all the creature comforts. I mean, I look back at some of the guys that used to run line machines that the darn was barely covered, and snow and all bundled up. And the old 235 was that way. I'd have the window open and rain gear on half the time just because I like that fresh air. But no, it's been a good career for me, I should say. Overall, it has treated me and my family pretty good. So.
How about biggest character you worked with?
Wasn't so much that a person I worked with, but I'd have to say Pete Papping by far was the most colorful person I ever had met. But I have met a lot of interesting people with him, Russian generals and all these dignitaries. Oh yeah, his game room was phenomenal, and work was work. But when he got him away from work, he treated you as a great guy. Always telling jokes. I have some stories with him, but overall, he was probably the most colorful person I ever worked with. Yeah. And then, actually, I worked for the gentleman that's running our processor now, Steve Tobin, when it was Tobin and Redessel there, and we went to Alaska, and that was something I wanted to get scratched off the bucket list. It was fun. Especially if you love the outdoors, hunting and fishing, and on the day off that you take, but you got to get along with the 50+ guys that you're stuck on the island with. I mean, the only roads that were up there were stuff that we were putting in. It was by boat or float plane that we brought to the camp. So, as far as camaraderie and stuff, and your cabin mates, it was fun. We had a good time up there when it lasted, I guess. But.
Would you say that in all the years that you worked in the woods, that working up in Alaska is probably the funnest experience?
I don't know. I mean, it was fun because it was new and it was exciting, and hell, I love the float plane ride. I mean, we had a great Timber from the float plane outfit was just awesome pilot, and he'd take you through these passes and stuff. It was fun just because it was a new adventure. But I think it was when really. It was like when I worked for Pete, we did a job on the F line out to East Hokum, and that's where we were pumping out all that wood. And it was just great, I mean, things, it's fun when things are going really smooth, and it's just fun. Not so much fun when things are not going correct, but I don't know. I try to have fun every day, so I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And how about scariest experience you had out in the woods?
Scariest is, well, we had a fatality on our job.
Yeah,
so,
Darren talked to me about that.
And that to me was the scariest thing. It sucks. It happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty scary. But like I'd only been in the woods like 4 or 5 days, and the crew, the cutting crew, that was cutting the right of way, had to help pack a guy out, you know, and it was like, oh my gosh, you know, I've been here like a week. Is this like normal, you know? But he wasn't. He was busted up a little bit, but he was
okay.
But and then we just recently, you know, we had a damn log truck roll over down here on the road, and that was pretty scary because a driver that I knew, you know, similar thing, and he'd asphyxiation, you know, died because he couldn't breathe, and that was my biggest concern when I got there, and make sure that he could breathe, you know. So
yeah, things
happen out here. I mean, it's a love-hate job, you know, but you can't get complacent. You know, you just can't get. You may have gotten away with something 1,000 times, and in the back of your mind, you know, it's probably not the best but you always got to be alert. You know, stay on top of your game. Don't get in that mundane thing, you know, because that's when things happen. And
that sounds like some good advice for a person getting into it. Do you have any more advice you'd give to a young person that wants to get into logging?
Yeah, keep your eyes open, your ears open, sometimes your mouth quiet, and listen to some of those guys who got the experience, you know. I mean, we'll get some guys that come in and they're young and they think they know everything, and you know, and then they get taught, you know, or shown something different, or they get hurt because they weren't paying attention. Mainly, it's just always, I mean, every aspect of this thing is heavy and can hurt, you know. There is no way around it. But it's safety. We practice safe, you know, I mean, really we do. We try to do the best we can with any safety type stuff. Well, you know, there's accidents, but really every accident, I think, can be prevented if X, Y, and Z would have been followed through or whatnot. So yeah, mainly for them guys out there, bring them on. We need guys. We need young guys. I'm getting old, so
all right. Well, Mark, thanks so much for giving me some of your time.
Yeah,
man.
you bet. It was a pleasure. Thank you.